The Boy Who Walked Against the Wind. An emotional and heart-touching story. Jamal had always believed that the world was bigger than the dusty streets of his small village, where evenings smelled of wet earth and the voices of neighbors blended with the call to prayer. He was 17 when he left home. Not because he wanted to, but because life had already taught him that dreams don't come free. His mother had placed her trembling hand on his cheek the night before he left. "Wherever you go, my son, don't let the world change your heart." Those words stayed with him like a quiet heartbeat. United Kingdom, a new country, a new loneliness. England was cold, not just the weather, but the people, the streets, the silence. Back home, people smiled at strangers. Here, Jamal felt invisible. He worked long hours in a warehouse owned by a British family. Boxes, machines, loud alarms, this was his new world. The British workers didn't hate him, but they didn't really see him either. To them, he was just the foreign kid. The black boy with big dreams. The one who barely spoke. When he tried to smile, most looked away. When he tried to speak, his accent wrapped around his tongue like chains. At night, he would lie on his thin hostel mattress, staring at the ceiling, whispering to himself. "Endure, Jamal. Endure." And yet, he kept going. For his mother. For a future that didn't yet exist. White Hart, the day everything changed. One rainy morning, Jamal entered the warehouse early, as always. He found Mr. Thompson, the elderly British manager, struggling with a cart full of heavy items. Other workers walked past. But Jamal rushed forward. "Sir, let me help." The old man looked surprised. "No one ever notices," he muttered. "I noticed," Jamal said softly. Later that day, Mr. Thompson sat beside him during lunch, something no British worker had done before. "I've been watching you," he said quietly. "You smile even when no one smiles back." Jamal lowered his eyes. "Where I come from, sir, kindness is how we breathe." The old man chuckled. "Well, maybe we could use some of that here." And for the first time, Jamal felt seen. Red Heart, the friendship that healed two hearts. Over the next few months, Mr. Thompson became like a grandfather to him. He taught Jamal how to use machines more safely, how to write better English, how to protect his rights as a worker, how to believe he deserved more than survival. They shared tea, stories, and sometimes quiet grief. Mr. Thompson had lost his wife years ago. Jamal confessed how he missed his mother so much that sometimes he cried silently before sleeping. One evening, Mr. Thompson said, "Jamal, you remind me of something this country forgot, warmth." Jamal smiled. "And you remind me of something I thought I lost, hope." Cloud with rain, the rainy night of truth. Everything changed months later on a stormy night. A heavy load slipped from a machine and nearly crushed Mr. Thompson, who fell helplessly onto the floor. Without thinking, Jamal ran toward him, pulling him away just before the load hit the ground with a deafening crash. Workers screamed. Sirens blared. Mr. Thompson lay weakly in Jamal's arms. "You saved my life," he whispered. Jamal shook his head, tears falling onto the man's shirt. "You saved mine, just by believing in me." Sun behind small cloud, a letter that broke him. After recovering, Mr. Thompson retired and moved to the countryside. Before leaving, he gave Jamal a letter. Inside it read, "The world tried to make you small. But you walked against the wind. Don't stop." Enclosed was a recommendation letter that helped Jamal get a better job, a better salary, and eventually, a better life. Jamal stood outside the warehouse, the cold wind brushing his face. But this time, he didn't feel alone. He whispered toward the sky, "Mother, I made it." Sunrise over mountains years later. Jamal saved enough money to bring his mother abroad. When she stepped off the plane, she ran into his arms. Years later, Jamal saved enough money to bring his mother abroad. When she stepped off the plane, she ran into his arms, crying with pride. "My son, you came here as a boy," she said, wiping his tears. "And you became a man." Jamal smiled. "No, Mama. I became a human, because one person chose to see me." Sparkle's moral. Sometimes, all a person needs is one kind heart to remind them that they matter. And sometimes, the most powerful strength in the world is simply refusing to let the world make you cold.